All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Cardinals 9-2, 6-0 on the road. The Chicago Bears 4-7, 2-3 at home. We're at Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. 40 Fahrenheit. Chance of showers. 13 miles per hour is the wind. This opened with Arizona as 7-point favorites. Now they are 7.5 or 8, depending on where you shop. Let me see if they moved this to 8 here as well. No, 7.5 or 8, depending on where you shop. And from a total perspective, this opened up at 46.5 and is now at 45.5 or 45. When we go to the cash flow here, 2,446 tickets in, 76% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on Arizona, 61% of the tickets on the under, and we don't have a cash count at this point. All right. Cardinals coming off their bye week with the NFL's best record. Cliff Kingsbury has become candidate for Coach of the Year. They're winning games despite COVID issues and key injuries, and they're playing very well. Cardinals, over the last 2 seasons, in Cliff Kingsbury's tenure, are 0-2 after the bye week. They were last seen in an impressive 23-13 road win at Seattle with Colt McCoy at quarterback and without DeAndre Hopkins. Cardinals finished 2-1 over the past 3 games, despite not having Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins. Both are expected back this week. McCoy finished 35-44 for 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I lost, fading him. Zach Ertz got 8 passes for 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. AJ Green, 4 catches, 78 yards. Moore caught 11 passes for 51 yards. James Conner ran 21 times for 62 yards and 1 touchdown. Their defense looked strong, 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Arizona is 6-0 on the road. 6-0 on the road this year, and all wins have come by 10 or more points. They're the 3rd team in league history to win their first 6 road games by double digits, joining the 68 Cowboys and the 1936 Bears. 6-3 record last season before stumbling into an 8-8 record and missing the playoffs. I think that's going to help Cliff Kingsbury and this team, knowing that what they've done after bye weeks, what they've done in the second half of the season. Defensive tackle Rashard Lawrence calf muscle was designated to return from IR. Offensive tackle Justin Murray had his practice window expire, so he is done for the season. Matt Nagy still has a job. Bears come in off a little extra rest after snapping their 5-game losing streak, 16-14 win at the Lions on Thanksgiving Thursday. Dalton, 24-39 for 317 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Darnell Mooney caught 5 passes for 123 yards. Komet, 8 catches, 65 yards. Montgomery ran 17 times for 46 yards. They didn't get much pressure. This is not the Bears defense we remember. 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. Justin Fields missed the game with the rib injury. He's listed as questionable to return. Roquan Smith left the game with a hamstring injury. He's questionable this week. Sam Kamara, concussion, is in concussion protocol. Offensive tackle Elijah Wilkinson has been added to the COVID list. Running back Damian Williams, wide receiver Allen Robinson, defensive tackle Akeem Hicks, defensive end Mary Edwards Jr., all inactive last week, and they're listed as questionable this week. Here we go, Bebsie, Cardinals, Bears. Take it away.
I have 2 looks in this one. One I'm going to bet. One I want to bet. Don't know if I'm going to. Maybe I could be talked in or out of this with the chat here. That's why we love having you guys. But I think I'm going to move on this under. Because of the fact that Arizona is not 100%, but they're also going into a real shit weather situation. I know I don't talk weather that early, but apparently it's supposed to be just a disaster in Chicago this weekend. So I predict a sloppy game, a sloppy, low-scoring game in this one. So I think this line or this number is just going to climb here, this total, I mean. So I want to get on this now because I think it's going to be up a bit by the weekend. The other thing I kind of want to move on is Cards first half. Look, they're sitting at 3.5 for the first half. I'd really prefer a 3, obviously. That's how this works. But I just see them as the better team. Obviously, that'd be crazy to say otherwise. But I just don't like -8 in a full game in Chicago. Yeah. I'm sorry, Dennis. I did. I came to the dark side, and I'm talking weather. So I am going to move on the under, but I don't know that I want the Cards first half. I just don't know if I want them that bad.
Terry Walker says, sounds like an under. Brady says, I'm letting this line climb and will be looking seriously at the Bears on Sunday. If this line continues to climb, Bears will be able to run on this Cards defense. Total's gone under in 8 of Chicago's last 10 games. That's Viper NB. Harold Williams on Cardinals first half, but Dennis Trusty on the other side said Cards off a bye. It's cold. Says maybe take the Bears first half plus 3.5. Dennis Garcia said, I took a small piece of Chicago. Would look to add if the line continues to rise. Damon Santoris says Arizona seems like a team that would not play well in bad weather. Mohamed Joma joining us. Great to see you, Mohamed Joma. Vital says Cards 6-0 against the spread. It's incredible what they've on the road. It's incredible what they've done on the road. Well, let's start by shopping around for a under for Bebsie here in Arizona, Chicago. I see 45.5s across the board. I'm going to pull up this Pinnacle site to make sure that we're not dealing with stale lines here. Pull this up. Let's get Penny up here. And just to ensure, as we track every single bet that we make, it is important to not drop stale lines. And I'm a little concerned that this is a stale line. So let's see what we have here. We have, it's under 45.5 at -103. So it's right online. Pinnacle is offering you the under 45.5 with very little juice associated. Under 45.5 at -103 for Bebsie. He is on the board. Thinking about the Cardinals first half, look, I think the Bears could run, get their yards there. That's not the question here. I just
the only thing I'm worried about is them coming out slow after a bye in bad weather.
And I don't know if the weather's going to be that bad. I mean, chance of showers, 13 miles per hour wind, 40 Fahrenheit. For Chicago in the beginning of December, that's not that bad, but Arizona won't like it. The thing is that with Kingsbury being 0-2 off of buys his first 2 years as a head coach and them falling apart in the second half, I think this is extremely important for them to come out and fire here. So
I'm gonna stay off of that for now, but I like this under. I do. It's an under game to me.
We have Alan Stewart saying that Dalton is starting. All we know is that Justin Fields is questionable. Let's see if we can get one last. See if anything's come up in the last hour or two. Cautious approach for Justin Fields. So no information at this point. Cracked ribs.
You're not rushing Justin Fields back in there. You're 4-7. This guy is the future of your franchise. He's not playing. That guy's not playing unless he's 100%.
Well, I like the look. I like the look on the under 45.5. A lot to talk about. The speed killer. Mohamed Jomas says, why is Arizona laying more than Green Bay did in Chicago? Is it because of the divisional game narrative? And saying good call on the slow field. Viper agreeing with Alan Stewart, saying Dalton will start. And I like the look. That makes sense to me. I'm going to take more time before making anything official here. But I will, as always, tweet out my action when I bet it. So